Today we're going full hashtag Dot Squad. It is Journal of the Scots bringing to you a full Dots extra series review. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. I'm finally all caught up since I did Series 7, I think just about 2 weeks ago, and now I'm finally organized and creating this video so you can see kind of how series 1 through 7, those extra dots packs, and are they worth it? What are the colors like? Now that most of them in the US, man, they just retired super quick. So and just kind of, I just want to really go over them more in depth now that I have all 7. So I guess if they do come out with a series 8, I will be back to the drawing board and adding another section over here somewhere, maybe kind of moving everything over and doing another video. So without further ado, let's get into the different series. Now, I've covered them all individually, so I'm not going to go super deep here, but as you can kind of see, so series 1, and again, all the extra dots series, I should say, run $4 a pack. I've had some interesting stories trying to acquire these. I know I was able to get a lot of them for $1 at Michael's. I've gotten deals at Target before for just under $3 a pack. I think I've also gotten them on sale at Lego before. A few, yes, I've paid full retail, which kind of kills me because this is definitely, for most of these, I don't know. It's kind of a hard one to buy a whole bunch of these at $4 because it really adds up quite a bit. One of the things I've been trying to do across the different series, and I finally did a pretty good job, is that most of these I purchased about 5 or 6 packs to complete the printed tile collections. The last one I was able to get it in 4 packs. So essentially, I kind of went pack by pack, and I was making sure that I had as few of duplicates as possible, and then I finally kind of was able to complete it in the end. So Lego on that one definitely didn't get the full 5 packs out of me, but and I'm kind of glad. There's only part of the problem, it's a good thing and a bad thing for extra series dots. One of the good things is that I'm really building up some really unique parts. The only bad thing is that they're generally colors that I wouldn't necessarily use every day. I mean, you could also argue that that's a good thing, that maybe I should take a look at some of these cool, really vibrant parts. And here I created kind of a cheat sheet. We'll get to that next at the very end here. So stay tuned. I'm going to go over this section of all the different parts. But, there's some really unique, vibrant colors that maybe I wouldn't have thought of, and that have really been introduced into only a few sets, and that extra dots is kind of a way to amass them at scale, because you do get quite a few of these. Like, for example, in the extra dot series number 1, those came out in March 2020 and were discontinued last year. Most of these run about a year and then they're done. Especially in the US. I feel like in the US these things are not lasting very long at all. So a year tops, they're in the stores and they're out of here. And I wish some of them would hang around a little bit. And they would have made more. I feel like they could kind of sell ongoing. So I don't know why they discontinue them so fast. First one had 109 pieces. As you can see, only had one circular tile, and then the rest were the half circle tile solids, and some pretty good colors. Again, not huge fans of them because they're more like, of what you'd see in some like Friends sets and other things. So it's not exactly Star Wars that I'm used to. I do think some of the prints were pretty solid, like the dog bone, the diamond, the smiley faces are all very good. The heart, really all of them are pretty solid and useful. So I think out of the gate it did pretty well. And then kind of moving to series 2, I like what they did with the, kind of creating that shimmery, transparent, like circular tile, and then 2 solid colors. And I think this is something that I really like. What Lego's doing is introducing that coral color. That's really solid. And then there's kind of a gold piece. These are kind of random wedge pieces, which I didn't mind at the time. I thought they these square tiles were very interesting. I could see them being used many ways. I don't know what I'm going to use those for, so probably not super useful for me. But overall, it is what it is. Then I think this is kind of an interesting where they kept it all very one similar color theme. And I think that could be some fairly useful stuff. And as you can see, I created the Journal of the Scots logo out of that unique part. I just love how it looks, how it shimmers. So the designer did a fantastic job. I think it's one of the better parts. Then there's also the unique star. I don't have any uses for that quite yet, but I imagine for like certain friend sets, this would be a nice accessory. And then I appreciate the dark purple and some of the other colors. I think those were solid additions. I really think this one, the Series 3, hit it out of the park. Then kind of moving on to Series 4, and then just like Series 3, which is crazy, just kind of discontinued really this year in general. So you could actually get this online, although in stores I feel like it was gone by the end of the year in 2021. So I almost feel like there was a huge change, like right at the end of the year. I know my local Lego store really cut things off and moved to Series 5 and 6 like super fast. And then I feel like number 4 went in and out really fast, which is kind of insane to me because there's some I think in terms of the designs on the prints, some of the best, I think easily of all of them. And then on top of it, one of the gems of the entire Dots collection in Series 4, which came out in 2021 and was gone like immediately. It was pretty insane. Is this this is a glow in the dark part, so I won't showcase that off. If you check out my review on Dot Series 4, it does have I need to block it. There we go. Adjust. So in my Series 4, you can I go dark at the end of the review. It's pretty awesome to see that in action. I really love this avocado, the pink flamingo, +1, kind of a video game vibe, and just a lot of great overall tiles. And then it also had one of the most robust, the circulars with the green and gold, go Packers, and orange, which is interesting. You don't see that a ton. And then I forget the coloring on this. I would mess it up. The blues really mess me up because it's always like some like azure type color. Then Series 5 was really interesting. I think this one, I really wish it could have stuck around a lot longer. It was only in stores for like 5-6 months tops. Technically like 6 months, but I feel like it was in and out of stores. This one, the good news is that I got like 6 packs of these, I think at least, and was able to get a deal at Target around the holidays, and then it was just gone. And that's Series 5, so it started in 2021, ended during the holidays. I was able to get a deal. Now, I think this one's the biggest bang for the dollar on top of it because it was 120 pieces. There were 20 total printed tiles, which are all very useful for mocks. I imagine this one long term right here will probably be the most useful for many mock designers. It had the outside curve tiles below, so there were 4 of those. They had these unique circular / square, I forget what they call those tiles, and the colors were kind of all right. Now the wedges, they kind of went back to the well again. There's 3 of the same type of wedges all over again, which I don't love that there's some repetitiveness. It would have been nice to maybe get like a dark gray or something, like a burnt orange or something unique. Then they did experiment with some Christmas tiles. Maybe they were thinking the holidays were up and some of the mock designers would want these for tiles. And then they had some circular tiles, which, again, Okay, I really like the introduction of this, the aqua color. The orange tile was very, very useful ultimately. And actually, I used that in one of my mocks. And I think I even, when Ben Brick designs one of the Microfighter lines, he needed a circular orange tile, and we all used the Series 5 pack to complete that because the circular orange tiles are were not easy to find at the time. There's only a few sets that had those. So moving on, there was Series 6 just kind of popped in out of nowhere. It came out in early, I think, beginning of 2022. So it was announced end of year. This thing was like out of here. And then in comes Series 6. And I really, a couple things for Series 6. Now, first on this, I can't actually showcase it fully. But there's this part, and then it came with the accessory charms, which you can see up here. I'll get to that in a minute. If I can get that to... There we go. Okay. So it came with this the accessories, and I kind of wish they would just do away with that. I hope that was a fail. Not a big fan of it. I mean, I get that the target demographic is definitely like young girls to create bracelets on this, but I kind of feel like Lego should be trying to tap into multiple markets with dots. It's not just kids that are getting it, like mock designers, like people trying to build signs. You're trying to, extend your, kind of use these as like extensions to your sets to, you think of the mocks that I'm doing back there. I need a lot of like tiles and extra detailing parts. So the packs are perfect. So I really hope that they kind of take that. Maybe Lego's listening, and kind of go away from these because these are like nearly useless. Like I'm racking my brain and I just can't figure out what I'm gonna do with those. I mean, maybe I can figure out something down the road, but they really only work for these parts too. So it's like I don't know what else to really do with them. I don't think they even go on minifigures can even hold those easily, unless I'm crazy and I just haven't played with it enough. But definitely fail. However, one of the gems is this translucent yellow, which is just absolutely amazing. The circular tile, that's going to be really nice. I do like this lime green to kind of match with the aliens. The royal blues, those are really nice to kind of, now they've gotten a couple different. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention too, as I kind of going back to Series 5, I just skipped over that, were the slope pieces, the coral. So if we look at Series 2, we had the coral and then a coral wedge. And then as we go, we'll go to Series 7 in a moment. But I just kind of love the color progression. And we'll kind of get to that when we get to the big chart. Then Series 7 came out. This just came out this year. And I think officially, according to Lego, I think it was basically in spring, officially in May. And now is still available. It's only been a couple months, but I kind of feel like this one's going to come in and out. Let me bring that a little bit closer. Give you a good look at that. Really interesting dark blue here. That's a really good color. I also love the gray. I really wish instead of this part they would have done dark gray or maybe like a burnt orange. Frankly, this would have been one of the perfect... or maybe if they would have had to match these soccer balls, if they would have had a matching, like, the olive, or I forget what the green color is. I feel like they could have really killed it with that would have probably turned this thing upside down. You really like that bright yellow is a fairly new color within the Lego color wheel. I'm not an expert at the color wheel at all. I'm probably the least qualified to be talking about Lego colors because I make mistakes like all the time. That's probably the hard thing, and it's one thing maybe I should do like a whole separate video on. So, and lastly, I just want to kind of showcase the progression here of of the sets, you know, just kind of looking it out, you kind of see a few themes emerging and just some things that I appreciate. Like here, they just kind of started out and then they kind of like, hey, let's get some unique parts in here. I love probably the big part again on Series 2 is that coral circular is really nice. Then they Series 3, you could just tell they tried to be really unique with some of the parts and some of the probably some of the best, and you just don't see a lot of dark purple, which is just great. And again, these kind of like a bright you know, blue green that you get here. Then, you know, Series 4 with that glow in the dark is really kind of next level. And then some of these parts you don't really see much. Another dark color. You get a couple dark colors in a row. It's one thing, you always get the like gold dark. Those dark colors are nice to get. Then Series 5, it was kind of like, we're going to throw everything at you. As you can kind of see how we just kind of went crazy. I love getting these, the tan and the white. That's going to be fantastic. Black, which is pretty solid. That purple, the coral, another coral introduction, which is really, really nice. Because again, you just don't see that in a lot of sets. Then to kind of go next level in Series 6 and get that transparent, translucent yellow is just fantastic. I think the rest of the set was kind of a fail. Honestly, the only thing I really liked was that translucent yellow. Then I really feel they kind of brought it back a little bit. The prints were solid. The theme was solid. Probably the only thing was kind of that repetitive from Series 3. I kind of wish they would have done something else. Like again, if they would have done like a you know, maybe not this color green, but maybe like a dark light green, something along those lines to kind of match these the soccer balls would have been really good, or something else, you know, in that I know it looks like they're trying to kind of keep to some of these same colors that are in here and kind of match, because you're creating bracelets. I guess I didn't really even think of that. You kind of want to do that. So that kind of tells me they should have matched it to the green that was in Series 7. I think that would have been really, really solid. And also very useful for those that are doing mocks. So for those Dot Squad members, let me know what you think. Appreciate everybody who's been on my Dots journey. And I'm just having a lot of fun. Hopefully, Series 8 is really good. My big thing is I'm hoping, and we're starting to see this, right? We saw the only thing I'm not collecting is the Levi Dots series. That one's pretty expensive. I think it's like $17 a pack now, because you just can't get them. And then, you know, as we go in the future, there's also like they're doing themed ones. So they just announced the Disney themed. I really just don't see a lot of interest for me in the Disney themes, because they were Mickey and Minnie Mouse driven. So again, it's that girl kind of target demographic. But I am interested. I really hope they maybe create like a Harry Potter, or I could see a Star Wars line just absolutely turning up things upside down for Dots and keeping that theme exciting. So with that, that's all I have for this Dots. Thanks again for joining me on my journey of my collecting Series 1 through 7. And again, hopefully Lego comes out end of this year. I'm assuming Series 8 will be in the works. Only the designers like Diego and team and Laura and a few other people know the future of where Dots are going. But I feel like it's bright, or at least the colors are bright. So we'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.